watching India Today.
Good afternoon and thank you for tuning in to India Today. I'm Suesha Saman getting you all the top stories. But first up, breaking news coming in on the Mahayuti as a rift is evident. This is ahead of the Mumbai civic polls where Mahayuti ally Ramdas Athavale's RPI is all set to fight on 38 seats. Union Mantri's RPI, that is in a friendly fight against the BJP Shiv Sena. Athavale has accused the BJP of quote-unquote betrayal of trust, saying that we will back the Mahayuti wherever RPI is not fighting, but where they are fighting, it is an all-out fight. RPI is now going to fight on 38 seats. Ramdas Athavale is set to contest on these seats in the BSP elections, and it will be a friendly fight, is what Ramdas Athavale has said after yesterday. BJP Shiv Sena announced seats for the BMC elections. Wherever RPI is not contesting, it will support the Mahayuti, is what Ramdas Athavale has said. Listen in.
आपने देखा है कि रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के 12 कारपोरेट एक बार चुनकर आई थी, एक बार 5 कारपोरेट चुनकर आई थी, लेकिन हमारे तरफ बीजेपी ने अनदेखी की है। एक तो रिपब्लिकन पार्टी बीजेपी का 2012 से मित्र है और युति की महायुति करने में रिपब्लिकन पार्टी का योगदान रहा है भीम शक्ति शिव शक्ति के माध्यम से ही। तो मुझे लगता है कि जो चर्चा चलती रही उसमें एक बार भी हमको नहीं बुलाया था आरपीआई को।
And cutting across to Mustafa Sheikh to get us further details on why the Mahayuti could not come to a consensus where it comes to the RPI. What exactly was the RPI deciding? And now that they have said that they will indulge in this friendly fight, any response from the BJP and Eknath Shinde faction?
Well, both the factions are saying that they will try and bring the RPI and Ramdas Athavale back to their alliance. But as of now, what Ramdas Athavale has said, that 38 seats is where they will be contesting. And one of the issues where Ramdas Athavale is under pressure is because another Ambedkarite party, which is the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, has been given 62 seats in alliance with the Congress. So Ramdas Athavale and RPI had to fight for their presence, and there was so much competition between the Shiv Sena and the BJP in seat sharing that RPI was completely ignored, and hence they decided to contest on 36 seats, and they are saying that wherever they are not contesting, they will support the BJP and the Shiv Sena. So we'll have to wait and see whether this alliance remains this way or Ramdas Athavale is convinced to take back his candidate and support Mahayuti once again back to you.
All right, Mustafa, many thanks for getting us the latest. Let's once again listen into what Ramdas Athavale has said on this matter.
आपने देखा है कि रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के 12 कारपोरेट एक बार चुनकर आई थी, एक बार 5 कारपोरेट चुनकर आई थी, लेकिन हमारे तरफ बीजेपी ने अनदेखी की है। एक तो रिपब्लिकन पार्टी बीजेपी का 2012 से मित्र है और युति की महायुति करने में रिपब्लिकन पार्टी का योगदान रहा है भीम शक्ति शिव शक्ति के माध्यम से ही। तो मुझे लगता है कि जो चर्चा चलती रही उसमें एक बार भी हमको नहीं बुलाया था आरपीआई को।
Home Minister Amit Shah has blown the poll bugle in Bengal. Amit Shah launched a scathing attack at the TMC government, alleging that its tenure in West Bengal has been marked by corruption, fear and infiltration, posing a serious threat to the state and national security. Amit Shah also promised that BJP will identify infiltrators and throw them out of Bengal if the Saffron Party manages to form the government in Bengal, alleging that fear and corruption had become the identity of Bengal over the past 14 years. Amit Shah asserted that the BJP would restore the state's lost glory if voted to power. Amit Shah also added that due to corruption under the Mamata Banerjee-led government in the state, development in West Bengal had stopped. After Amit Shah's roar in Bengal, Mamata Banerjee attacked Amit Shah and said that claims made by Amit Shah are false and asked if there are no terrorists in Kashmir and the rest of the country, then who carried out Pahalgam attack and Delhi blast? Now TMC has hit back at Amit Shah, alleging that the post predictions of Amit Shah have gone wrong. In 2021, Amit Shah predicted that over 200 seats would be won by the BJP, but they landed up winning 77. TMC also highlighted that in 2024 Lok Sabha polls, Bengal Shah's prediction was also wrong.
मित्रों, जहां पर भी बंगाल में जाते हैं, पूरे बंगाल की जनता घुसपैठियों से त्रस्त है। क्या कोई राज्य सरकार ऐसी हो सकती है जो घुसपैठियों की पनाहगाह अपने राज्य को बना दे? राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा पर एक कितना बड़ा खतरा है, इसका जवाब बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री ने बंगाल के चुनाव में दे। घुसपैठ रोकने के लिए उनके पास क्या योजना है? आर्टिकल 370 हटता है, वो विरोध करती है। सीएए लाकर बंगाल के शरणार्थियों को नागरिकता देने का हम कार्यक्रम करते हैं, वो विरोध करती हैं। और वो ठीकरा फोड़ते हैं कि बीएसएफ है, वो रोक नहीं रही है। ममता जी, मैं आज आपको इस सार्वजनिक प्रेस वार्ता में पूछना चाहता हूं कि कौन सी सरकार है बांग्लादेश की पूरी सीमा पर जो वाड़बंदी करने के लिए, बॉर्डर पर फेंसिंग करने के लिए जमीन नहीं देती है? अगर आप जवाब न दे पाए तो मैं ही देता हूं। आपकी ही सरकार है जो जमीन नहीं देती है, जिसके कारण फेंसिंग का काम समाप्त नहीं होता है। फिर भी भौगोलिक रूप से कठिन सीमा पर से कोई घुस कर आता है तो कहां जाता है? सबसे पहले बंगाल के गांव में जाता है। आपका पटवारी क्या कर रहा है? आपका थाना क्या कर रहा है? क्यों इसको अरेस्ट नहीं किया जाता? क्यों उस पर केस दर्ज नहीं होता? क्यों इसको वापस भेजा नहीं जाता? जवाब है क्या आपके पास? क्या बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री ये जवाब दे सकती है कि असम में घुसपैठ क्यों बंद हो गई? त्रिपुरा में घुसपैठ क्यों बंद हो गई? गुजरात और राजस्थान की बॉर्डर पर घुसपैठ क्यों नहीं होती है? पंजाब की बॉर्डर पर घुसपैठ क्यों नहीं होती है? कश्मीर की बॉर्डर पर घुसपैठ क्यों नहीं होती है? सिर्फ बंगाल में क्यों होती है? क्योंकि आपकी निगहबानी में घुसपैठ कराई जाती है और बंगाल को धीरे धीरे डेमोग्राफी चेंज कर आपकी वोट बैंक को पुख्ता करनी जाती है। मगर ये लंबा नहीं चलेगा।
বাংলায় শুধু অনুপ্রবেশকারী, কাশ্মীরে নাকি নেই। তাই যদি সত্যি হয় বন্ধু, একটা কথার উত্তর চাই। পহেলগাঁও তাহলে কি আপনারা করলেন? দিল্লিতে কিছুদিন আগে যে ঘটনা ঘটে গেল, অনুপ্রবেশকারী বাংলা ছাড়া কোথাও নেই, তাহলে কি আপনারা করলেন? রাজনৈতিক হ্যাংলার দল আগের বার এসে বলেছিল ইসবার 200 পার হয়ে গেছে পগার পার, আর এবার করছে এসআইআর।
And let's now go across to my colleague Sakshi Batra of Business Today with all the updates on the market. Sakshi, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Suesha. Good afternoon and welcome to the Business Today show, where we track the closing action on the last trade, viewers. But first up, let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial world. Markets trade range bound, with the Sensex flat near 84,700 and the Nifty trades below 26,000 as the year-end trading remains muted. Selling pressures are seen in IT, pharma, real estate sectors. However, buying interest is clearly being seen in autos, metals and PSU banks. Hindustan Aeronautics stock is in focus as Dhruv NG takes flight for the first time in Bengaluru. Union Minister Ram Mohan Naidu flags off HAL civilian helicopter, marking strategic expansion into air ambulance and disaster response markets. Silver prices rebound sharply on MCX, rising 12,000 rupees now to hit 2.36 lakh rupees per kilogram, while gold also has seen some recovery, up by 1,200 rupees at 1.36 lakh rupees per 10 grams. The rebound follows after 2 weeks of low international markets, a move as well as driven by year-end profit-taking and renewed safe haven demand. India is set to end on a 2025 high note with the strong GDP growth, low inflation and falling unemployment marking a Goldilocks moment for the economy, supported by strong exports and robust foreign reserves. The government has said its year-end economic review is promising all of that. Meta is set to acquire Chinese AI startup Manus for over $2 billion to enhance its advanced AI capabilities across platforms. The deal also aims to expand Meta's AI features through financial details have not been disclosed. Let's straight away look at how the markets are trading in the penultimate day of 2025. Viewers, we are seeing a thin volume trade at this point in time. So slight choppiness, and amidst that, markets are absolutely flat. 25,937, even though throughout the course of the day, we did see some losses even below that. But the Nifty Bank is really pulling up the sentiments high. Now almost 0.5% higher, trading strong at 59,207 odd mark. But it's the IT stocks that have dragged lower today, about 0.7% odd. In fact, the last couple of sessions have also seen some IT pressure that has continued. Although the broader markets also do see some softness in trade, but it's the metals that are shining the brightest in an otherwise weak trade that we are seeing on the markets. Look at the metal index. It's 2% higher in trade, leading from the front as well as shining brightest. PSU Banks follow. Along with it, it's the autos that are now driving in a faster lane. Along with this, even the private banks that have pulled up the Nifty Bank overall higher in trade. On the Nifty, you have names like Shriram Finance, Bajaj Auto, Hindalco, Tata Steel, M&M, and JSW Steel as among those stocks that are winning in trade in the last 20 minutes. Let me go across to our guest now. Ashu Madanji is joining in. He's the MD of JM Financial. Warm welcome to you, Ashu. Warm welcome, and of course, a very happy new year to you in advance. Here's wishing that you, your loved ones and everybody at JM Financial really has a profitable year ahead. Do help us understand what's the sense that you have by the end of 2025. How was this year for you in terms of markets?
So it was a lackluster year, particularly I think calendar year, Sakshi. And I think VIX says it all. One of the historic lows in the VIX I have never seen in the past many years. So that clearly shows that it is a clear anti-climax for a calendar year expiry. I mean, whether it expiry day or expiry week, expiry month, expiry year. I mean, calendar year expiry is such a muted one, which is actually an anti-climax and which is purely visible by, the historic low in VIX. So Sakshi, last few months, ever since, every time when people talk about that, what is a market kya lagta hai, what is your view on the market and etc., etc. So what is your fear? So I said, my fear is not, this market is not about tezi mandi. The current structure of the market is the lack of interest. That is the biggest damage which has happened in this calendar year as a market participant, I can say. And that's the reason that we are witnessing VIX below 10, which is the historic low. I don't think so. In my reasonable assumption, reasonable time frame, I've experienced this kind of VIX. So I think that is a matter of concern. And probably as we have been talking, 26,000, 26,000 plus minus 500. Again, a consolidation. Last few months, every time we met, we said market is in consolidation. So we can still see another 6 months, 1 year of consolidation. Everybody is getting itchy that, beyond a particular level, crossing 26,000, 26,300, 27,000, 27,000, 1,500, different targets keep coming. So I think anti-climax for this calendar year. So next calendar year also, as of now, there is no spark because there are no triggers also. If you talk about the macro triggers, GST rationalization is behind us, tax reforms behind us, tariff news has become stale. So I think the only trigger is probably budget. Whether anything happens in budget or doesn't happen, we met after this muted expiry, we might get some positive trigger in January, which should be used again for a profit booking.
Right. So, Ashuji, help us understand, what are you advising then clients to do, investors to do? Like you just pointed out, it was the lack of interest that you saw among investors over the last 6 months odd, when markets have constantly been in a range and in a boring phase. What is the best way to approach your investments? Can you still go on to create an alpha in the markets when the index just crawls to a 10% rally? In fact, on the small caps front, people have lost a lot of money. 23% of the fall has been seen on the index level this time around. So, and overall, it's been a lack of interest, like you say. How do you make money in a boring setup, even if this consolidation trend has to continue in the new year?
So Sakshi, my small answer, so my short answer would be when there's a low beta, the alpha also becomes struggling. So nobody likes to hear that. But as you said that, what do you? How do you talk to investors? I mean, I somehow people don't like to hear this. This is India, or currently we have become a trading market. So we have to treat it as a trading market till the time it genuinely or actually becomes an investing market. Till the time it is a trading market. So it is nothing wrong in trading or investing. The only thing is the mindset. The mindset has to be changed because last post COVID, last 2-3 years, the kind of phenomenal too good to be true returns which have come, people have become habitual of those kind of fancy movement in stocks which are no more. So coming in terms to that reality and realizing that, for example, let's talk about an X stock which is 30% down. So from 30% down, we might see a recovery of 10-15% again. From lows, it has recovered. From highs, you will not get your price. So you have to keep trading in that stock or probably in the market. So as of now, for me, India is a trading market. There would be green shoots available. There would be pockets of sectors where we can invest also. But I think one should be rolling the profits. It is still not an investing market that I could sleep over my portfolio.
Okay, fair point. Any forward-looking trends that you can share with us, Ashuji, like in 2026, which are the themes or the sectors that you believe could be the winning ones that investors can start building on their portfolios with?
Yeah, as I've been saying last 2-3 months that PSU banks are looking very good just because of the valuation and the kind of consolidation they have undergone, led by SBI. Every time you talk, give me a particular stock pick. Though we don't talk much about stocks, but I keep saying that leader is SBI and PSU banks are looking good. Metals are still looking good. For example,
Yes.
say Tata Steel. They have actually not performed in terms of the rest of the metal stocks. So I think ferrous, non-ferrous, probably that is the difference because every time we have been talking about zinc, copper, aluminium. But I think it's high time we should see some traction in SAIL and Tata Steel also. Though every time they elude us that every time they come out with a false breakout level and suddenly gets, and goes back. So metal still looking good. PSU banks are looking good. There could be, down and out themes also. For example, I'm not a great fan of PSU, and every now and then I used to say that PFC, RECs, and
Right.
Concors of the world are underperforming, and they'll keep underperforming. They're in a perpetual sell list because everyone is heavily overbought and 40%, 30, 40% down. But I feel that in some kind of semblance is visible in those stocks also. So again, we might have some trading opportunities instead of being in the popular stocks. One have to target now the stocks which have not at all performed. Because
Fair point.
Sakshi, every time for a trading market or for a reversal in the market, you have to identify those themes which everyone is frustrated about, irritated about, and there are tired bull syndromes, and these are the stocks where I see those kind of a frustration and tired bull syndrome, which might see some
Got it.
recovery and there's an opportunity available. So I would refrain from Eternals and Nikas and all those of the world which have been fancy and have been talk of the town last year. So this year, I think the down and out themes could perform for next 3 months.
Fair point. So the down and out stocks could actually make a comeback in 2026. Stay away from the popular stocks that have, grabbed your attention all through 2025. That's the word that Ashuji has. So stay with that, Ashuji. We are also going to be now focusing on the precious metals, gold and silver, that have dominated the markets in 2025. Sharply outperforming the equities as a whole, debt, and even the cryptocurrencies. The rally remains one of the strongest that have been seen in years, along with even platinum, palladium, copper. And to decode what really lies ahead, let's actually bring in another expert to join in on the panel. We have Sugandha Sachdeva, founder of SS Wealth Street, to now be with us. Warm welcome to you, Sugandha. Season's greetings for the upcoming new year. But, you have been, of course, celebrating all these gold and silver prices rally, and now the rally is even continuing to the base metals, copper, palladium, platinum. Look at all of that. It's everything, that's shining bright. But give us a sense, for those who actually missed out, what do we do in 2026? Do we still have an opportunity?
Yeah, hi Sakshi. Thanks for having me here. Season's greeting to you, the entire team of Business Today, and all the viewers, and Mr. Ashumadhan as well. So it's been a landmark year for commodities, especially for silver, watershed year. We have seen gains of close to 170% in silver. The historic gains, and in fact, gold prices are also shining bright with gains of more than 70%. So I think this surge in silver prices reflects a structural inflection point. It is not a speculative spice. It is now being globally repriced as a critical monetary and industrial asset. It has taken lead over gold also with significant gains. And if I talk about gains for last 5 years, it's more than 200%, while gold is also clocking gains of around 168% in line last 5 years. So major factors have been the tariff threat by the US President Trump in the starting of this year, the monetary easing cycle of the US Fed, geopolitical tensions, and the strong industrial demand for silver. And supply has not been able to match up to that. If you look at the structural deficit in silver, it's been continuing for the last 5 years. And next year also, we are expecting a deficit of around 295 million ounces. So mine supply has not been able to match up with this explosive demand. And add to that, a technical breakout. After 46 years of compression, silver prices have broken out of the $50 per ounce mark. And there has been an explosive rally that we have witnessed in prices.
Yeah.
So I think my sense is this rally is likely to continue further ahead as well, at least in the first 2026, even as prices have already stretched significantly and are prone to some corrections. But then I see this rally continuing at least in the first quarter of 2026.
Okay. Ashuji, I'll just take one point here also. Do you see somewhere gold and silver, the kind of rally that we have seen, is it entering into a bubble territory at all? I'll ask the same question to Sakanda then.
No, Sakshi, I do not see that. It's a structural bull run that we are witnessing. It is backed by strong fundamentals. We have the backing of strong industrial demand from the AI data centers, from solar panels, from electric vehicles, the 5G technologies, and the green energy transition of the global world. So I think this theme is likely to continue till 2030, and mine supply cannot respond so immediately because silver comes as a byproduct of copper and zinc mines and some of the gold mines as well. So even if
what about you, Ashuji? Do you think that Nifty has a way to return again in 2026, maybe cover up some of the lost ground there and meeting up with the gains that gold and silver have already displayed, or will it be again the shining metals?
First of all, I mean, it is a pleasant surprise to share a screen with Sugandha. We have worked for so long together, and it is nice to see her after such a long time, and thanks to you. So coming back to your question, see, we are also positive on gold and silver, but I think when everyone starts talking about, and those kind of signals are coming with at any level we want to buy because we are missing on to something, then you have to test your patience. That is the only thing I currently in the last 2-3 days or 4 days, we are saying that it's just, I mean, there's no denial that we are in a bull market of gold and silver and they'll continue to outperform. So there could be some sharp dip which we will witness, and probably that is the time if somebody has to enter again, that will be an opportunity. So for that, one has to have that kind of a patience. Coming back to Nifty, yes, as I said, that the green shoots are available. We have been tired out since last, more than 1 year. Flirting around 26,000. So I think Sakshi 26,300 is a very pivotal level for me. Once it gets crossed, we might see going towards 27,000. But as I said, more than Nifty, it is the stock. So the first time in last 1 year, I'm a contra player in the market, and every time it's a long short kind of a portfolio which we always, as a trading portfolio, which we advise to the clients. But for the first time, as I mentioned, that the stocks which were totally down and out are heavily overbought and people are, stuck badly. I'm finding some silver lining in them. So that is giving some kind of a positive sign. So let's see how things pan out. But as I said, from this kind of a VIX, there has to be, January the VIX will be higher and we might see some strong spurt in the market in January. So one has to stay long.
Sugandha, if I have to ask you, for all those fresh investors, what are you telling them? Buy gold right now? Will gold have a chance to again catch up with the silver move? Or should I continue with silver? Or maybe leave both and go to the base metals? What are you telling clients?
Sakshi, I believe both should be a part of one's portfolio. In fact, NPS is also now being allowed to invest into gold and silver ETF. Almost 1% of their corpus will come into gold and silver ETFs. So almost $1.7 million of demand will additional come into these metals. So I see silver outperforming, at least in the near term, because the gold-silver ratio, which has peaked at 107 levels, has come down to levels of close to 58 mark. It has even reached its long-term average of 60 to 65. So it is now heading towards 50, which indicates that silver is likely to outperform in the near term. And this ratio we are expecting to test levels of around 38 as well. So near term, silver is likely to outperform, but then I'm very bullish on gold prices also for the first quarter of 2026. Gold prices have been consolidating, and there are a lot of catalysts which are still going to drive prices on the higher incline. My sense is that the geopolitical risks, the monetary easing cycle of the US Fed, and expectations of a leadership change at the Fed, which is likely to lead to further interest rate cuts in 2026, is going to drive prices on a higher incline. And add to that, central banks have been continuing their purchases of gold. Yes. There is loss of trust in fiat currencies, and that's leading to a hard asset rate. So I think this trend is likely to continue in 2026, at least in the first quarter. That's the visibility currently. Beyond that,
the levels now. What do we expect on gold and silver from here? What is the kind of upside we expect?
So for gold, I'm expecting first levels of $47.70 and then $4,900 per ounce as well in the coming year. And in the domestic market, we see prices heading towards 1,85,000 to 2 lakh mark in 2026. While for silver, we are looking at levels of close to 3 lakh mark. There would be some corrections on the way. If I talk about crucial support areas, the first support for silver is seen at 2,18,000 and then 2,01,500. So we advocate our clients to buy in tranches, not in one go, because prices have already stretched. So, but then if you buy at close to 2,18,000 also, there is a good upside that you can see from those levels also. So overall target is 3 lakh as of now.
3 lakh on silver and 2 lakh on gold is something that Sugandha expects for 2026. There could be some corrections on the way, but those dips should only be looked at for buying. For the long term, gold and silver outlook still bullish. Thank you so much, Sugandha, for being with us on the show and for highlighting for us where will the money go, even in commodities, and how will metals shine bright even in the new year. Breaking news coming in on your screens right now, viewers. The first air traffic data after Indigo crisis has actually come in. This is the November air traffic data that has been released. Remember, the November air traffic data is now showing key shifts. The Indigo market share is at 63.6% versus 65.6% it enjoyed in October. The SpiceJet market share is now at 3.7% vis-a-vis 2.6% market share that was seen in October. Remember, SpiceJet stock also has zoomed after the air traffic data. Right now, if you look at the stock prices of Indigo and SpiceJet, you will be able to see that Indigo has slipped a tad lower, whereas it's SpiceJet that has zoomed in trade. Remember, we are also looking at Air India's market share that is now currently at 26.7% vis-a-vis 25.7% in October. So in comparison, the lost ground for Indigo has been distributed between all the other three airlines, two airlines, SpiceJet and Air India, that we see at this point in time. Both of the other airlines have managed to grab some more market share because of the lost ground that Indigo had. 1.1% lower for Indigo at this point. Let me go across to Ashuji to find out, is finally normalcy returning as is being shown by Indigo presentations time and again. But what about the opportunities for investors? Is the worst behind for the company and the stock price that we have seen? What should investors do?
See, the fiasco which has happened, Sakshi, I mean, though on one hand we say that the public memory is very short, but what has happened and the kind of turmoil people have undergone, I mean, it is not to be forgotten easily. And suddenly there's a huge shift from Indigo to Air India. So this shift of market share is not justified. I mean, still not being justified in numbers. And I see that Air India gaining more market share in the times to come. And it is not about that what has happened, the way they were conducting themselves. I mean, I was very vocal about the kind of service, the rudeness, the arrogance which we witnessed as a user from Indigo. I mean, so this kind of things happen. And what has happened, and it will take a hit on their numbers also. This quarterly number, like I know everyone is expecting bad numbers. So whatever will happen, I mean, there will be spillover effect in the next quarter also. So I still don't see that 5,000 is a good value to buy Indigo. We could see it going much lower also. Or maybe even if it doesn't go, I think as a discipline, one should avoid buying Indigo just because it is corrected because of things, because it will have a far-reaching effect on the company.
Okay. Ashuji, also let me understand from you what we briefly marked out, but it's important for all our retail investors to understand whether there is any need to rejig their portfolios. For all those investors, retail investors always have this affinity towards mid caps and small caps. Their large portfolios are concentrated with such kind of names. But this is the year when we have seen one of the worst kind of performances from the small caps. The index is down by 23 odd % this year so far. At least half of the BSE 500, BSE 1000 stocks have probably ended this year, are on course to end this year on a negative note as well. And therefore, despite the fact that the Nifty is still hovering around its all-time high levels, it's the portfolios that have not really reflected so much. How would you look at the mid caps and the small caps in 2026? Will they make a comeback, or will you stick with the large caps for the safety that we need at this point in time in the markets?
Large caps and very select mid caps. And Sakshi, I think last time also we discussed the rebalancing of portfolio, and the churn is very important. If you'll keep keep sticking to that portfolio, that I will not book the loss. Somewhere you are losing the opportunity also, because every time the themes change, the sector will change, and wherever you are stuck, there would be. See, as I said, the dilemma is my stock is 30% down. So market has recovered. My stock is now 20%. So that 10%. Is a notional is something which will give a notional comfort to somebody who's holding that, but it is still not in profit. And at the same time, there will be other sector and stock which has performed 30-40%. So I mean, you don't have to fall in love with the portfolio, because one point of time, or sometime it was a delight for everyone. You have to rebalance your portfolio and churn your portfolio. I don't think so. Mid cap and small caps will come see the same the same highs which we have witnessed in the past. But in the meantime, there would be many stocks in the large caps which will outperform. So one has to take that hard call to churn the portfolio.
Okay, the markets have shut shop. Viewers, in front of you, 25,969 on the Nifty right now, 27 points higher. So we managed to pull up above the flat line and end the session in the green, 0.1% higher, almost towards that day's high move that we have seen the markets climb to. Remember, this is the penultimate session of 2025 that we are looking at. The Nifty Bank definitely supported that move on the higher side for the Nifty, about 0.55% uptick from there. You see the metals, the PSU banks, the private banks, the auto sector. These are the sectors that have managed to pull up some gains towards the end of this session. But on the other hand, IT dragged, real estate, FMCG, oil and gas underperformed today. When we look at the names on the Nifty, Bajaj Auto topped the list today, 2.3% higher. Shriram Finance, Hindalco, Tata Steel, M&M, JSW Steel. Maximum of the winners from the Nifty top 5 or 10 names you will see are from the metals pack. In fact, in all, about 12 odd stocks managed to end themselves into the green. But today on the lagging side, you had names like Eternal dragging 2%, Eicher Motors down 1%, Infosys, TCS, Indigo, Apollo Hospitals, Eicher Motors as among those laggards in trade. But that's how the markets have shut shop. Let me quickly look at how some of your questions have come in for Ashuji now. Raghav from Mumbai has sent our first question for you, Ashuji. This one is asking that markets have been volatile in 2025. So what are the top stocks and sectors to invest in for 2026 if the volatility is to continue?
My current favorite is PSU Bank. Every time, the last 2 months, ever since, every time on your show, I keep recommending the SBI is a stock. There was a time when Bharti was consolidating around 500. Then the next padav was 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. I could see that kind of a journey. I can see happening in SBI. Obviously, it will take time. It will take medium to long term. So if somebody has to hold a stock and feel confident and comfortable, less volatile, and probably very good long-term prospect, I think then PSU Banks led by SBI, one should invest and hold delivery for long term.
Okay. The next question is from Daisy from Goa. She says, platinum has rallied tremendously. So what are the other ways to invest in platinum apart from jewelry? Well, I wish Sugandha would have been here to answer that. But Ashuji, your expert comments there for platinum.
I think these bullion ETFs are a good way to invest, and these are very easily tradable. And one can have that CPSC ETF also. Otherwise, gold, silver, every commodity has an ETF. I think for a retail investor, ETF is the best way to trade and invest in this market.
Okay, let's take the next question. This one is from Kushal from Pune. Kushal says, gold and silver have also rallied sharply. So should I enter right now or wait for a cool-off period? Since you just advised that ETF is a better way, so should one be waiting for a dip to enter, or should one consistently go about it? Gold and silver again, since Sugandha also pointed out that brief correction periods may be there, but she still expects gold to rally up to 2 lakhs and silver to rally up to 3 lakh rupees as well. So that kind of an upside she's penciling in again. How would you look at gold and silver and the opportunities there?
something which we want to buy and we are convinced about the long-term prospects are positive, then I think even in the ETFs or direct trading, the SIP route is best. For example, right now gold is at 139. We should buy ETFs at 139 also. And if it goes down by 137, 135, sharp corrections because of global market, you've seen what is happening in silver. So gold is less volatile and it would be a better commodity to hold to. I mean, whether that if you're not able to stand that kind of a volatility. So for a retail investor, I would say gold ETF, and every dip, you should do a SIP. I mean, either ways. I mean, 139, 137, 135, 131, 141, 145. Even if it's going up, going down, we should have a target that every week we will have a SIP in gold ETF. That's the best way, because ultimate target, when it is higher, you'll be able to get the best price out of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashuji, for being with us on the show. And of course, it's always a pleasure to speak with you and seek all those insights. And we will continue to do so in the new year as well. That's a wrap, viewers, on the Business Today show. In case you too have any questions about your investments in mutual funds, SIPs, stocks, or gold-related questions, send them to us on the number that's flashing on your screen. And don't forget to join in at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for all the opening action with Abha Bakaya.